Israel is bombing Iran, not with words, with real missiles, real casualties, and real cities on fire. After decades of threats and silent attacks, the two enemies are now openly at war. But how did we get here? Why does one country want to destroy another it doesn't even border? Welcome to Zukkun Knows. 1. Where are they? Iran and Israel are both in the Middle East, but they are not neighbors. They are over 1,500 kilometers apart. Iran is a large Islamic country east of Iraq. Israel is a small Jewish country near the Mediterranean Sea. They don't share a border, but they share decades of hate. This distance matters, because their conflict isn't about land. It's about ideas, identity, and power. 2. Not always enemies. Surprisingly, Iran and Israel weren't always enemies. In the 1950s and 60s, they even traded goods. The two countries shared quiet, behind-the-scenes diplomacy. Back then, Iran had a king called the Shah. He was pro-Western and friendly with America. He wanted modern technology, money, and alliances. Israel had those things, and for a while that worked. Third revolution changed everything. But in 1979, everything collapsed. Millions of Iranians took to the streets. They were angry at the Shah's rule. Why? Because poverty was rising. The rich were getting richer, while the poor got nothing. The Shah lived in golden palaces. His government jailed anyone who disagreed. People couldn't speak freely. Oil profits went to a small elite. At the same time, American companies had big power in Iran, and the Shah supported Israel. Many saw him as a puppet of the West. That means powerful countries like the United States, Britain, and France. Ayatollah Khomeini was a holy man from Iran. He lived in exile for years because the king hated him. But people listened to his words. He said Iran should follow Islam, not kings or foreigners. He became the voice of the revolution. Before the revolution, Iran worked with Israel. But many people were angry. They said the Shah helped America and Israel, but not them. When the revolution won, that anger exploded. Khomeini said Israel was part of the problem. He said it hurt Muslims and worked with the US. That's why Israel became an enemy. When the revolution won, everything changed. Iran became an Islamic republic. Khomeini called Israel the Little Satan. The new government called for its destruction. Overnight, Israel went from quiet ally to hated enemy. 4. The proxy war. Iran didn't attack Israel directly. Instead, it supported militant groups. The two biggest are Hezbollah and Hamas. Hezbollah is based in Lebanon. Hamas is in Gaza. Both have fired rockets into Israel. They dig tunnels, plan raids, and launch attacks. Israel strikes back with air raids and blockades. This is called a proxy war. It means fighting through others. It's safer and harder to blame. Iran gets to hurt Israel without open war. Israel responds but can't always strike Iran directly. These groups also allow Iran to gain influence in Lebanon and Palestine. 5. Fear of the bomb. Iran has a nuclear program. It says it wants peaceful energy. Israel thinks that's a lie. Israel believes Iran wants the bomb. One nuclear weapon could destroy much of Israel. Israel is small, and it has lived with fear for generations. After the Holocaust, survival is everything. That's why even the possibility of a nuclear Iran is seen as unacceptable. That's why Israel takes action. It has hacked Iranian systems. It used a virus called Stuxnet. It has assassinated Iranian scientists. It watches every step Iran takes. 6th, war finally starts. In June 2025, Israel struck first. It bombed Iranian missile and nuclear sites. Iran fired back with missiles and drones. Cities like Tehran and Tel Aviv were hit. Hospitals, homes, even TV stations were damaged. More than 400 Iranians have died, and over 1,200 were injured. In Israel, at least 24 have been killed and hundreds wounded. Most victims are civilians. This is no longer a silent war. This is real. 7. Who's helping? Big countries are watching. The US sends weapons and money to Israel. Russia and China speak with Iran. Saudi Arabia fears Iran. Turkey criticizes Israel. Everyone is involved in some way, because oil flows through this region, and chaos here affects the world. 8. What about the people? Families are running from fire. Kids sleep in shelters, parents cry over rubble. In Iran, buildings are in ruins. In Israel, people wait for the next siren. Leaders speak of pride and justice, but regular people want peace. Hospitals in Tehran are overwhelmed. Some families have lost power, water, and shelter. 9. Can this stop? Peace is possible, but only if leaders listen, and only if people demand it. Both governments use fear to stay in control. They say, the enemy must fall, but hate doesn't build homes. It only burns them down. 10. Why this matters. You may live far from Iran or Israel, but this war affects the globe. Oil prices rise, markets shake, refugees flee, and nuclear risks grow. If more countries join, it could become something much worse. This isn't just history, it's our present. And if we're not careful, it could be our future. War has started, but the future is still up to us. If this helped you understand a complicated conflict, subscribe for more clear and honest stories.